Hi everybody, welcome to our vegan kitchen.
Yay!
Yes, we haven't been wiped off the face of the earth. We're still here. And I've got a great fall/winter recipe for you today. It's for Stoup.
Oh, Stoup.
A soup that eats like a stew. This is a super hearty, super quick dump recipe. It's a great fridge clearer. Anything that you've got in your fridge left over, like you've got some mushrooms or celery or carrots, or in this case, some tomato paste. This is a bonus ingredient. You don't have to have tomato paste, but I just happen to have it laying around and it would be really great. You got some tomatoes from the garden you want to throw in that, you've deluged with tomatoes now at the end of the season. But this comes together very quickly, and it's only 15 minutes in the Instant Pot, and then you're ready to eat. It's crazy how quickly this comes together. So, like I said, it's a dump. So we have our Instant Pot liner here. We're going to start to fill it up with our ingredients. So I always like to start off a soup, and this is all about the stacking too, and I'll show you as we do it. We want to put our mirepoix on the bottom, and if you don't remember what that was, that is onion, carrots, and celery. It's going to take me a second to open these carrots. I have some beautiful rainbow baby carrots that I'm going to throw in.
Gorgeous.
I buy these for the dogs too, to make their homemade dog food. I like these because they're like all ready together. If you don't like pieces that big, you can cut it a little bit smaller. I've got my celery here. Yes, a little bit of the mushroom went in with the celery. It's okay. Just try and get most of it like where it's supposed to be, and it'll be fine. All right, so we got our mirepoix on the bottom. Then we're going to put our protein. Today we're using lentil. I would not recommend doing this with dried beans because they're going to take too long to cook, and we want this in a hurry. So we're using red lentil. You could use any kind of lentils. You could, if you don't want to cook it from scratch, you can do a can of beans or 2 cans of beans, depending on how much room you have in your Instant Pot. Maybe you have the 8-quart, maybe, maybe you have a smaller one, so don't do as much. I'll put a rough estimate of all the ingredients in the info box below, so we won't really talk about
But this is super customizable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll show you exactly how to do it. Now, the amount of water that we're going to be putting in, because when you're making a soup, you need water to cook everything in, and especially in the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot really does not work unless you have water on the bottom, because that is what's going to create the steam to close the pressure valve. So since we used a cup of the lentils, we're going to use 2 cups of water, and that's what's going to give us our pressure steam. I would be worried normally with only 2 cups of water and that amount of lentils, but a lot of the other vegetables that we're putting in are water producers. They're going to give off a lot of water as they cooked. We have 2 zucchini here. This is like 90% water. So we're going to dump these in. Uh-oh, you know what?
I don't know if you're going to have room for everything.
I'm not going to have room for everything. So I think we might have to cut the mushrooms, or maybe just put a few mushrooms. I could just have these extra mushrooms for lunch today.
I love them on my salad.
Yeah, we'll just have these for lunch. I way overestimated, but that's fine because, that's how it is. Or I could just leave out the kale, but I really don't want to.
I love the kale in there.
I know. All right, we have our tomato paste that was left over. That's going to add a lot of flavor. So we're just going to plop that in. Don't worry about mixing everything up. You can mix everything up after it's cooked, and it's really going to just keep blossoming as you mix it. And then we are going to put our seasonings in next. I'm going to use 3 seasonings today. I'm going to use a lot of ground pepper because that's going to give a lot of flavor. I got some of this green jalapeno paste at Aldi a couple weeks ago, and it is delicious. And it gives a lot of flavor with not a lot of heat, so I'm going to put like a tablespoon of that in there. I have my Orrington Farms Bouillon. I'm going to put
You're really cracking yourself up.
I am cracking myself up. Because I use this for everything. I just love the taste of it.
It is very good.
And it's slightly salty, so you don't really need to add any salt to this. You can add your salt at the end. I'm going to do like 4 tablespoons because I feel like this is kind of a weak bouillon, salt-wise, so you can get away with that. Honestly, I don't think we're going to have much room for this kale at all. Which makes me kind of sad. Maybe I'll just put in like a couple of handfuls because I really do like the flavor that it gives.
Yeah.
Normally, I wouldn't have the zucchini, but I had it hanging around. So the zucchini would have, you know, taken the place of the kale. It did take the place of the kale in there. But I'll just put a little bit. And a lot of this is going to deflate too as it cooks, so don't get upset that it's like going to be overflowing.
You are really testing the limits here.
I know, right? All right, now we're just going to pile our potatoes on the top because I like to put the potatoes on the top because I don't want the potatoes sitting in water cooking because potatoes do take on a lot of water when you cook them, and I just don't like the flavor and the texture of potatoes after they've been like boiled and they've been sitting. They're just very like waterlogged and you can really tell. Actually, maybe we can get a couple more mushrooms on here.
What is wrong with you?
All right, that's good. Maybe a little bit more. All right. You have to be careful if you don't have stuff that is going to deflate. You won't come to pressure. That's like the number one thing that goes wrong with pressure cookers. If you overfill, there's not enough airspace in there to create the pressure. But since we put some kale and mushrooms and stuff in there, it should be okay. Fingers crossed. But we're going to take this over. I'm going to plop that in there. We're going to do manual. We're going to do cook time of 15 minutes only. And we're going to do we're going to do high pressure. Hey, I said high pressure. There we go. And we're going to hit start. We're going to pop the lid on. We're going to close the valve.
Very important.
Yes. And you can do a quick release or you could do a natural release. It doesn't really matter that much in this case. So it's really, it'll hold like for whenever you're ready to eat it. You can't overcook it. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's good.
Dang, that smells good.
It is. If I do say so myself. I just released the pressure and it's time to mix it. This is what I call the bloom. The more you mix it, the more homogeneous it becomes and it makes like a little thick gravy. Like you could see the water is like watery there. But when you start to mix it together and the lentils start to give off a little bit of their starch and the potato starts to give off its starch, it becomes thicker and thicker and the flavors really start to meld together. You could see the tomato paste is turning the gravy like a reddish color. And it's turning into stew.
It just smells so good.
It's going from soup to stew. And,
yeah, look how thick that is.
Yes, look at that. It's blooming. It's a bloomin' stew. So let's serve up some in a bowl and we can let Maddie get a taste of it and see what she thinks.
It's time for me to burn my mouth.
Hopefully it won't be as hot. I do have a tip/trick. At this part, if you want to eat in a hurry, take a bag of frozen peas and mix it in right from the freezer, and the frozenness of the peas will help cool down the whole dish much quicker, and you know the heat from the Stoup will also
you have some peas in there.
Cook the peas and heat them up. So that's a little trick that I do. Also, if you're wanting more meaty flavors in here, you could take like a package or a half a package of the Beyond brats or sausage. And what I would normally do is to get all the grease out, cook it in the toaster for half an hour, take it out, slice it, and then put it in at the end. I wouldn't put it in at the beginning because it'll just it'll devastate the sausages too much. They won't hold together as well as if you...
Are you okay?
I almost knocked the dog's water over. What can I say? But this looks beautiful. I can't wait to serve this up. I only wish it had a little more kale in it.
Mm.
I might actually add some kale because
Yeah.
we're not really eating this till later. And it's still so molten hot that the kale will cook enough. So I think
Let's
that's
do
what
it.
I'm going to do. Yeah. But let me serve up some that we can try right now. All right, Maddie's ready to burn her mouth.
I don't want to, though.
Just take a little bit. All right, you ready?
Can I ever be ready? Honestly, it looks so freaking delicious. I just don't want to die.
Oh, you took a lot there, girl.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I wanted a potato. I love the potatoes so
The
much.
potatoes are really good.
It's a highlight for me, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
I want the kale too.
Yeah, the kale and the potatoes really do it for me. I wish I could do like a whole pot of just kale and potatoes with maybe a little tomato in
could.
there. I think that would be really good. And
I'll
obviously
try.
some flavoring.
Don't burn the mouth.
No, don't do that. Just a little bit off the end.
Okay. No, it is actually really, really good, but I'm just so cautious about burning my mouth because I do want to taste my lunch and dinner later.
Yes.
The
All right.
kale.
Right?
The kale is just,
It's transformed.
it's such a nice flavor in there.
Yes.
The potato adds so much creaminess.
Uh-huh. And the lentils. The
Mhm.
lentils turn into a doll.
No, that is really, really good. It's super creamy.
Yes.
I would say
Highly
too.
recommend.
Yeah.
The best part of it is the taste and the quickness that you can
Yes.
get it together.
But also the texture. I just love the texture of this. It's so thick
It's
and
comforting.
substantial. Yes.
It sticks to your ribs, as Granny would say.
And I did burn my mouth. I feel it now.
Oh!
You know when you might not necessarily feel it in the moment.
Yeah.
I feel it now. But it was worth it because that is freaking delicious. I will say I love it even more when we have, like you said, the Beyond
Second
sausage
day.
in there.
Oh, well, yeah, the Beyond sausage. And even second day. You can... This is the kind of a dish, you know it's good because you can eat it cold right out of the fridge.
Oh, yeah. This
Good
would
stuff.
even be, if you really felt like doing this, I mean, you don't need to. I like the texture of this the way it is. You could totally, like, blend this up
Yes.
and make it all, like, creamy.
Like a bisque.
Yeah, which would also be very delicious if you don't feel like moving your mouth that much. But it's honestly, it's all very soft, so it doesn't really matter.
And might I also add, if you're doing the starch solution or you're trying to have a big volume meal with a little bit of calories,
This is it.
this is it. This is low calorie, fill you up, but not fill you out, as my mom would say all the time, lifetime dieter.
Bless you. That is just so delicious.
Fill you up, but not fill you out.
Yes. All right. So, on that note, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this recipe, give it a thumbs up. Let us know if you give it a try. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing?
Subscribe for more.
Yeah.
It's free.
So, thanks again for watching.
Hello.
And until next time, much love.